Our next guest during this Wise Guys Thanksgiving special is a BYU grad who's dazzled audiences both on Broadway in New York and off-Broadway around the country with her singing and dancing. And for the very first time, she's on the Wise Guys. We welcome Libby Lloyd, the daughter of Blaine and Brenda Fowler. Welcome.
Thank you. Ooh, I've never done one of these before.
This is happening tonight.
If it doesn't sound right, we can adjust you right there.
Oh no, it sounds great.
And by the way, and we've told people that we're going to sing, but we've only had one live performance on this show, and it was Caleb Chapman, who's one of the finest saxophone players in the world, and teaches.
And he performed on here?
Yeah.
He came and he played the Cougar Fight song on
his saxophone. We had never seen anything quite like that.
Amazing.
Nice.
And he did all these runs and all this fun stuff with it. So we're not even sure how this is going to work, but we're going to do it.
It's going to work. It's going to work. Now, I've been waiting all day to ask you this question. Actually, for the last couple of weeks, because we knew you were coming in. You're a tremendous athlete in high school. 3-time national champion with the Cougarettes at BYU.
My dad loves to bring up that I ran high school track.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that I'm on Broadway now. High school track.
It's big for him.
He wants to bring
it's
up.
big for him. And Cougarettes is a sport. That's a sport. Very successful with that. So my question is, what's the common denominator between a Broadway performer in New York City and the athletes that play down the street at Madison Square Garden? What's the
common denominator? Well, talent, but that's an easy answer. I think determination is probably one of the biggest, that knowing you have a goal and you're going to get it, and seeing your talent and being, that's not the only thing you're going to rely on, that you have these lofty goals, but you have that talent for a reason and you're going to reach those goals. I think it takes a lot of resilience. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of professional athletes have had a lot of no's, and I have had many of my own no's, many more no's than yeses. I think it takes, I would say, 50 no's to get one yes on Broadway.
I think Michael Jordan said that he missed 3, 4, 5, 10 times the number of game-winning shots as those that he hit.
Right, but you remember, well, actually, you remember both, but hopefully the fans remember the good ones.
Yeah, but it's that resilience you're talking about. It's not all great, but it can be great if you keep going. Yeah,
it can be great, and humility, recognizing that you're just as, the people around you are just as talented. Everybody is just as talented. It all just has to line up. There's so many talented people that will never see a Broadway stage or an NFL football stadium or an NBA arena, but it takes timing and all of the things to line up. And when those aren't quite lining up, keeping going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice for Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Just because
it's not
lining up.
Zach has talent, but sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time. And you and Dallas are really, really close with Steve and Barb Young. Mm-hmm. And I know you've talked with Steve a lot as you've made your way through and up to the very, very top of your industry. Being on Broadway is the equivalent of playing quarterback in the National Football League. Steve didn't have it so good to start when he was in Tampa Bay. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Did any of your conversations with Steve and what he went through and making it to the top over time help you as you navigated your way through this minefield of tough competition to get where you're at?
Yeah, I think something that Steve, especially now, really preaches. I'm going to say preaches.
He was on here and he preached. So yeah.
We had Steve and Vi, and Libby loves Vi and Steve both.
Yes,
she spent a lot of time with Vi.
Best people.
They were on together on the show.
Oh, that's so fun. Is that it's not just what you're going to do in this trajectory, right? It's not just, can I be on Broadway? Can I be in this show? But it's, how can I influence those around me to also reach that level or be the best version of themselves in the show that we're in together? And how can I seek another person's healing, not just my growth, not just my trajectory, but how can I help those around me as well? And I think the more you do that for people, the more that you will also succeed. It's the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself. But I think that's a big thing that I learned from Steve.
It takes a certain confidence to stand up in front of an audience of critics being people who spend a lot of money to sit there and be entertained, to sing and dance in front of them. Where does your confidence come from?
Oh, my confidence. I think my parents, believing
Your
in
dad
me.
has a little confidence,
I mean,
right?
yeah, I think he has a little. If he can have a 2-hour talk show every week, that takes a little bit of confidence for both of you. Yeah, my parents, my friends and family, just people believing in me. And I don't know, it's recognizing that like, it's not that special, even though it is special. And I'm so grateful, but the people around me are my peers. And if I see them that way, then I can reach that status. It's not just like, oh my gosh, they're a star and it's so lofty, hard to attain. It's like, that's my friend in that Broadway show. So if they can do it, why can't I? And yeah, so I think humbling humbling myself, but also like the career, like it's not unattainable. And there's people that are my friends that are doing it, so I can do it as well. But I don't know what really, I think my parents just always being like, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
You could play sports and sing. You don't have to choose. Like you can do everything you want to do, and we'll push you to do those things.
It's like the old saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do believe it's like a mindset that we've talked with all of our kids about. It's like, hey, if you don't think you can do it, well, you absolutely will not do it.
Yeah, if you don't try, then you already lost.
But if you just assume that you can, there may be stumbling blocks along the way. You may have some backslides, and you may never make it there without really, really grinding. But if you don't start out just absolutely thinking that you belong and then that you can do it, then you're not going to get there. So that's a really good point, Lib. I think you just have to feel like I belong. When Jake Retzlaff walked out on that field, he had to convince himself, yeah, I played in JC last year, but I can play here. I belong here. And he's going to have to do it again Saturday. He's going to have to keep convincing himself until he actually does fit in, right, Libs?
Yeah. I have a friend that calls it celebrity energy. It's like, if you think you're a celebrity, then you already are. Like you're already there. So it's like thinking you're the starting quarterback, or then you'll get there because you already believe in yourself that you can be that.
Yeah, I believed that I was going to be a point guard for the Celtics. That didn't work out, but I believe for most other people that's probably spot on.
But you also believed because that wasn't your only dream, Dave. Because you know, and we've talked a lot about. You also believed that you would do this at a pretty early age. That you would be a sportscaster. That you would host news. That maybe you even saw this in your mind, that you'd have the largest, live stream BYU. Live stream in the world at some point. But you always saw yourself doing this and being on TV. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here, I believe.
Right. Let's go back to when you were 11.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go old school
Throw
here.
it back.
You're diagnosed with a rare blood disorder. So it not only changes your 11th year, it puts you on a different trajectory, which has really landed you here.
Yeah. Yeah, I had ITP. Idiopathic thrombocytic
purpura.
Yeah, that's why I just called it a rare blood disorder.
It's a rare blood disorder that is very dangerous.
Yeah, it's basically an autoimmune where your platelets, where your immune system attacks your platelets, and platelets help your blood clot. So my blood was not able to clot on its own. So I started taking prednisone, a very strong steroid.
And it moved you from contact sports to the arts.
I had started dancing like 1 year before that, but up until then it was like, playing sports with my brothers, always volleyball on the 4th of July, and then I was playing soccer, competitive soccer. And I was just getting into like the actual competitive leagues. And this was my first year on a comp team where we were going to start traveling. And
she was really good, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Dad. And so I was doing soccer and dance, and I was starting to get really big bruises on my shoulders and petechiae on my legs. My mom was stressed. My dad was stressed. We took me to get a blood test. And
if I would grab her wrist like this and say, okay, let's get to bed.
Bruce.
Then the next morning she would wake up and my handprint would be on her skin.
Yeah, or I would get bloody noses that would make me late to school because they would last 2 hours. So we're like, okay, what's going on? So we get a blood test. My platelet count is plummeted. And they tell me I have this thing and that I can't play soccer anymore. I was really sad because I was like, I just decided like I was going in on this. I was going to be hardcore. And so I shifted more into dance. And it was really a safe haven for me. Dance is intense too. I had
Sure.
to modify a lot of my competition routines. Like I couldn't do aerials. I couldn't even jump on a trampoline to risk internal bleeding to have a stroke and possibly die. Like it was to that point. And so dance became my like outlet, my movement, and singing with my dad was a way to still express myself and still be athletic and still be physical, but be safe. So yeah, I really focused in on that, doing more competition dance routines. And yeah, so it pushed me into dance and pushed me into that love and was my love at the time for what I was doing. But it also taught me at a really young age that you have no idea what people are going through. And I was made fun of because the medicine I was on made me gain a lot of weight. My cheeks were puffy. I was constantly red. I was constantly hungry. I was emotional. Yeah. And I remember some girls at school like laughing about me behind my back, and I turn around and they're like, and I'm like, you have no idea.
Girls.
Yeah,
why
she
I
had to
have
be.
this.
Libby had to be on high dose prednisone at the time, and I'm sure we have folks
We all know what prednisone
out there
does.
in our live stream universe that may be on prednisone today, and you know how it can cause you to retain fluid, and you're just constantly hungry. To control this bleeding, to get under control, at first she was on really high dose prednisone, and she just plumped up like the girl on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory that ate the what did she eat?
She ate the blueberry. Didn't she eat the blueberry?
The blueberry.
And she turned into a blueberry.
She didn't have the blue, but she plumped up like the blueberry lady.
So you just never know what is going on in people's lives, like emotionally or physically. Like there's so much that is under the surface, and you can't judge anyone for what their actions are until you maybe know what's going on in their heart. And I know I was really young, but it really taught me how to empathize at a really young age.
And isn't it interesting where you are today? Now, maybe it cost you a spot on the World Cup roster. You know,
I'd
maybe.
like to think so.
But look where it moved you. If you just let life move you places, we seem to always get led to our strengths. You know, especially if we're trying to do things that are right. And so now here you are, and you look back at your 11-year-old devastating news of my world's over, and I've got clowns making fun of me in the hall. Well, now the clowns are buying tickets that are like $250 to see you on stage. But I think that's a country music song. But think of how life has taken you places because you let it instead of just saying, no, this is it for me.
Instead of giving up,
I can't do that.
Finding a new pathway. So even if it wasn't maybe what I initially envisioned for myself, it was a new journey to go on and a new dream. And yeah.
One of the things too, Libs, that it did for you is I think you decided and we decided we're going to let you chase whatever you loved at that point. So eventually, it took more than a year. They got this disease under control, and eventually she outgrew it. So she was healthy. She still got tested for how many years? Like 10 years.
I mean, even to this day, my mom's like,
she
get your
still gets
platelets.
a test every once in a while.
Get your platelets.
But it's behind her, right? So she's completely healthy like anybody else. So she went back into sports, and she was a 3-time state champion in track in high school. But it was interesting. She came back into sports. Coaches, and this is for all you parents and grandparents out there, started to pull her in different directions. Soccer coach saying, okay, now that you're back, that you need to do only this. Because if you're going to be good at this, you have to do only this. Even dance was saying that. She got kicked out of the ballet studio because she was spread too thin, because she wanted to run track and be in the place. And the ballet studio said, well, if you're not going to take this seriously and do this full time, then you can't be in this dance studio. So that's like the coach that cut Michael Jordan, right? Yeah. So we found a studio that said, no, we'll work with you.
Do all the things.
She's like, but Dad, I love running track, and I love playing sports, and I love being in the plays, and
I want to do cheer,
and I want to
play
do
volleyball,
cheer, and
do everything,
and I want to do all of this. And I said, then you need to do what you love to do, even though people were pulling her. And eventually, she found her way to what she loved the most. So what she does is what she loves the most. I feel bad for parents out there where they get pulled in, and it's like, you've got to do this, and you put all those eggs in one basket, and maybe they love something else more.
Yeah, well, they usually find out in college.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to be multifaceted. It's also, being athletic helped me be a better dancer. And I think I know some boys who played football at my high school that also took ballet. It's like, these things can help you. You can cross train in a different way. That's also hobbies and fun things to do. It's not, you don't just have to do one thing.
Broadway performer and former BYU Cougarette Libby Lloyd on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Not only part of an athletic family, a musical one, including your dad, who gives us snippets weekly here on the Wise Guys.
No, if I don't sing on the show, some little funny thing.
At
then it's not a show.
AFR and game day and everything else we do, we get to hear Blaine sing. Absolutely. And so for the first time in the history of this show, Wise Guys, it is my pleasure. You want to grab your guitar?
Yeah, I'll grab
it. Ready
it.
to do it? Our pleasure to introduce Libby Lloyd and Blaine performing John Denver's classic Shanghai Breezes. Is there a story behind this?
Oh, of course. So anybody that was in high school with me or my siblings knows that one of our favorite things to do is sing with my dad.
Yeah.
Play guitar, sing. We all gather together. Our friends all come and hang out and do it with us. And we have the classic songs or new songs that we try. But this one is a classic that we would always sing. It's a family favorite. What else about it? Oh, I learned how to harmonize because of singing with my dad and hearing my mom harmonize with my dad. That's honestly how I learned how to harmonize. So,
do you want to come in and sing too, Brenda? You're good over there.
She's good. She's good.
Hey, Brenda and I sang at our own wedding. Libby and I sang at her wedding, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Here we go. Shanghai Breezes.
So, and we're doing the best we can.
You'll be fine.
Be
fine.
No, we can't mic this. So
it'll be fine.
No, because we want to hear what we sound like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shanghai Breezes from Libby Lloyd from Broadway and Blaine from just down the street.
Yeah, just down the street. Right. Actually, just right down off the hill. It's funny how it sounds as if you're right next door when you're really half the world away. I just can't seem to find the things I'm looking for, to say the things that I want to say. I can't remember when I felt so close to you. You're in my dreams and always near. And though I seem 500,000 miles from you, you are in my dreams and living there. And the moon and the stars are the same ones you see. It's the same old sun up in the sky. And your love in my life is like heaven to me, like the breezes here in old Shanghai. Shanghai breezes, cool and clearing, evening sweet caress. Shanghai breezes, soft and gentle, remind me of your tenderness. And the moon and the stars are the same ones you see. It's the same old sun up in the sky. And your love in my life is like heaven to me, like the breezes here in old Shanghai, like the breezes here in old Shanghai.
Fantastic.
Did
Libby
it make
Lloyd,
it out? Did it make
Blaine
it out?
Fowler, it made it
Did
out.
it sound okay? I don't know.
Some reaction. Wow, wow, wow. Freaking amazing. How about that? That's a pretty good.
That's nice. Thanks,
you.
Dr.
Oh,
Katz.
somebody said slay, Libby. Oh, me. Oh, my gosh.
That's very
amazing.
nice. So, we appreciate that.
What is it like? And we have another song coming up in just a bit. What is it like walking into a Broadway audition?
Oh, well.
Like what happens to a person when they do that?
There's a few different types. If it's like a singing appointment, there's the pianist. You bring your music that either you picked yourself or they gave you to sing, and there's a whole table of people just looking at you.
So it's
like,
just kind of like on TV where it's
Yeah.
really just like cold and...
Mm-hmm. Except for you already have a job, Dave. I'm trying to get a job on when I walk into these rooms. So that's intense. And you talk through the tempo with the accompanist, and then you say, "Hi, I'm Libby Lloyd. I'm singing whatever the song is, Shanghai Breezes," and then you sing. So that's like a singing appointment. And then the other one is a dance, an open call dance, or an invited dance call. And that, it's a room full of like 40 to 50 other dancers. Could be just female, could be men and women together. And you learn about 5 to 8 counts of sets of 8 of choreography. So like a minute of choreography on the spot. And then you do it in groups of 3 in front of everyone. So it's like everybody's watching on the sides and you're like, okay, I think I know this. Here we go. And the choreographer's right there and the director right there and the producer. You're like, oh, the producer's here. This must be, final callbacks. I must be really at the end here. And then sometimes you get the call that you booked and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just don't hear anything.
So you're sitting in front of this table of people, and you're about to sing to them, and they've heard singers all day, and they're going to hear some more after you. So what do you tell yourself just before you take the first breath and belt it out?
Ooh, I try not to tell myself too many things in the room.
Yeah.
So more of my like self-talk comes before I walk in the door. Somebody told me this a long time ago. I do like push-ups on the wall. Don't get down and do real push-ups, but like get in my body. So I feel in my body. And then I imagine some people to go in the room with me, like some special people. One person is my grandma, Grandma Fowler, and my grandma Birmingham, who have both passed. Sometimes it's my mom, sometimes it's my sister, sometimes it's my husband. It's just like people that are rooting for me. I imagine that they're with me, and then I go in the room. And that's a way to kind of be like, I'm going to be okay because these people have my back no matter if those people do.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Or just breathe.
Or just breathe.
Just take a deep breath. And
when you get the part, you get the call, and now you got to bring it every night. For example, you just finished a run with Moulin Rouge, and we got the chance to see you up in Salt Lake, which was awesome.
When you came to Eccles Theater in that show.
More than 600 shows over an 18-month run.
Yeah.
Everyone is there probably for the first time, and they want to see Off-Broadway because they're not going to New York. So you're at.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the pressure like to bring it every night?
I mean, it becomes just the job. Like the pressure kind of goes away. It's not so much like I have to nail this. It's just like, I will nail this. It becomes the job. It becomes second nature. But there's nothing like Moulin Rouge, the beginning of the show, the like big boom. It's like, if I'm not dropped in, that will make me drop in. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Here's time for the can. You can't escape the can.
No.
So I think it's less pressure. I feel more pressure when it's friends and family that are there, that maybe haven't seen me perform. And then I'm like, oh, what are they going to think of this? I really need to step it up. But I think for the most part, I know that the people around me on stage are so talented, and I feel lucky to be there, and I know my talent and I know my worth, and just going and having a good time and telling the story and trying to help people in the audience feel something that they maybe won't feel otherwise.
Because they left all their problems outside.
Yeah.
They got 2 hours of getting away from that.
Or maybe the show helps them reflect on their problems in a different way, or see another person's point of view that they wouldn't otherwise.
Right.
I did this amazing show off-Broadway called The Wrong Man, about somebody that was wrongfully accused of a crime. And I remember your good friend, Clayton, coming to see the show, and he's like, I never thought about capital punishment this way. Like, this changed my perspective. And so it's like, if it's really a story that can really move someone to feel something in a different way, then I know I'm in the right show. Is it,
she sounds like Tom Brady. That's just the job. I go out and play quarterback, right? It is like Tom Brady. You and Dallas, your husband, and Dallas, come around here. I want people to see Dallas for a second.
Yes.
So we mentioned Dallas when Scott was on the air, but Dallas was
everybody. This is Dallas,
was captain of the number. What did you guys end up that season ranked after you whipped Iowa in the Rose Bowl? Dallas
third.
So the number 3 ranked Stanford Cardinal. Dallas was the Utah Player of the Year at Pleasant Grove High, and they kicked some butt that year. Christian McCaffrey on the offense, Dallas on the defense.
They would love to have the two of you back.
Yes, they would love to have you and Christian back right now.
Even right now.
Even Dallas says things aren't going great there. But this has been, Dallas and Libby have been on this journey together. Yeah. And you go from city to city. Now you're settling back down in Manhattan. Do you ever look at each other and just go, wow, is this real? Is this really happening?
We're doing it. And I just feel really lucky that I have this husband that is willing to go with me on these adventures and support me more than anyone else. Like I really don't think I could do it without him because of the love and support and cheer and calming me down and keeping me level-headed. He's the best.
And Libby, you played a role when Dallas was out there on the field in front of 100,000 people in the Rose Bowl, or playing Notre Dame to get to the Rose Bowl, and rooting him on and supporting him. And Dallas, I just thought I'd ask you, what's it like for you now to be having her up on stage? Or she stepped away from Moulin Rouge. She had an offer to extend her contract, but unbelievably physical role that she just felt like she couldn't do much longer, so she didn't extend. And now, Dallas, you have to support her going through all of this audition process again. What's that been like for you?
You know, I think she probably spent more time in the training room than I did when I was in college. She was getting her hip worked on and her shoulder every night. She was in there grinding. So, you know, it's funny. I think that there's nothing that's more special in this world than love, and having someone there who loves you and supports you. And I remember when you and I, you know, earlier on in Libby's career, she performed at Tuacahn down in St. George.
Oh gosh,
she was.
Yeah, I went to see her at Tuacahn one night and sat next to you.
Dallas, can I tell you what? Can I tell people what you said?
What did I say? Well,
So you and I were sitting there.
Going to the same place.
Yeah. Tell them about it.
So she gets the call same day. She gets the call to go. She was in the
understudy for Cinderella.
In the understudy. She was in the ensemble. She was the understudy. So, you know, the lead went down with a sickness that day.
Mm-hmm.
So we all got the call 3.5 hours north in Provo. We hit the road. You know, we leave work early. We hit the road. We go down there, and Tuacahn's this beautiful red rock amphitheater.
Yeah, 3,000 person theater.
It's
full.
It's a spectacle. It's incredible. And we sit down in our seats. She's going to go on as Cinderella, and it starts raining.
Yeah, that's right.
And me and you were like, dude, I was way more nervous for her in that moment than I was to hold the game-winning field goal against Notre Dame. Like, me and you were sitting there like, oh my gosh, we're sweating bullets.
Yeah,
like, what's going to happen?
So Dallas, I looked at Dallas. We were just sitting, leaning on our knees, and then it stopped raining, and it's like the show's going to go on, and I look over at Dallas, and he looks over at me, and we look like we're messed up, and I go, Dallas, I can't breathe.
Yeah,
and Dallas
you played in the national championship.
And
I played in the Rose Bowl.
I got thrown into a national championship game in front of 80,000 people at Qualcomm with 4 million people watching on TV against Michigan. Did not faze me. I cannot breathe because Libby's going on as Cinderella.
Cinderella at 2 o'clock.
And Dallas says, Blaine, I'm sweating all the way to my belt. And I go, why? And Dallas, this is what you said. I don't even know if you remember this. He goes, Blaine, she's playing Cinderella in the play Cinderella. If she's not good, this is going to suck. That's what he said.
Yes,
that's what he said. And then we looked, and we were over on the side, and Libby was backstage, and she brought her little wagon, because the first scene in that play, she comes out with a little wagon and sings a solo. And we looked over, and she came around the corner, and she saw Dallas and I, and she went like this. And we go, she's not nervous.
Yeah, she's just Libby being Libby.
She wasn't even worried about it. He was sweating to his waist. I couldn't breathe. And Libby was okay. And she came on, and she just belted that song out, and she slayed it. She killed it. And Dallas and I, a couple songs, and we're like, oh, she's got this. And I have never been nervous since. Have you been nervous since?
No. Can I speak to something, though?
Yes.
You know, earlier she got her confidence from you as her parents. But as someone who's lucky enough to live my life every day with her, I think there's a great lesson to be learned there of when the lights turn on, it's too late. Like you have already put in all of the preparation and all of the hard work to get there. She spends a lot of money and a lot of time on dance classes, on voice lessons, on acting class. She invests in herself, and it pays dividends. But, you know, and because she invests in herself, her confidence flourishes, and it allows her talent to come out. And that's why she can say, okay, like, I have all these people with me. I just need to be in my body because I've done all the work, you know? Once you've done all the work, it's the same.
Is that the advice that that BYU needs to take when they step out on that field on Saturday against Oklahoma State?
They're prepared.
Absolutely.
The work's been done.
You know, the
it's too late, right? If you're not ready.
The work's been done. Watch film all week. And this is a word for the defense. When a wide receiver, I saw a video of Tom Brady talking today. He's like, when I was playing, I wouldn't throw the ball across the middle when Ray Lewis was playing.
Right.
Because I didn't want to get my guys hurt. That's on the offense. That's on the quarterback. Now the game has changed to where they're throwing flags all the time. Well, I'm going to say, you got to win this game or you're not going to go to a bowl game. This is the last game of the season.
Yes.
Someone comes across the middle, light them up. Lay the wood.
Line them up, lay the wood.
And get physical.
Lay the wood to him.
And
Works
you're
to
on
play
the road.
by.
There's nothing more fun than playing on the road. So just be physical and just
That's
have
Stanford
fun.
advice for BYU.
That's
Stanford
right.
advice.
And let me tell you, that defense used to lay the wood to some people, and that's the way to go. So
Great
awesome.
Dallas Lloyd
Thanks,
with
Dallas.
Libby. Thank you, Dallas.
That was fun.
Another question for you. Give us a holiday song, and then we'll let you get out of here. How important is maintaining your faith in an industry that is so fluid and so different from Kaysville, Utah, where you grew up?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I cling to in our religion is love one another. And I think the people that I work with do that better than anyone I've ever met. They really do. They love me and what makes me different, so I can love them and what makes them different. And individual, not necessarily different, but individual and special. And everyone is that way. And I think, yeah, just seeing where everyone comes from a different background and we can all work together to be in one show and then find all of our common ground. It's so beautiful. I have some of the best friends I've ever made from this show, and that's because I love them, like God would, like Christ would. I just really, really love them.
Great answer. You ready to fire up another one here?
Yeah, my dad's gonna be mad at me. I forgot my lyrics,
Oh, can you see
so
these
we're
ones?
gonna share.
That's okay. That's
And I
okay.
think I
Blaine's
wanna
on the
take 1
accompaniment.
ear off. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, yeah,
Here's
I'll
the
accompany
great Libby Lloyd singing the Karen
Make sure
Carpenter
this is
classic, The Christmas Waltz. Blaine on the guitar. Wise Guys, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Is it better if I just do this?
We can hear it just fine.
Slide over a little bit.
Yeah.
Liz. I'm going to put this like this. And this is a waltz. Libby reminds me, Dad, this is a waltz. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Well, we had to write it down. I don't know if you can see this, but
Nice.
These are my notes.
when we were practicing earlier, he was playing it in a 4. I'm like, Dad, this is a
This is a
waltz.
Come on,
waltz.
it's not a
1, 2,
4.
3.
1, 2,
right?
3.
So the only thing is, I don't know that I can hear it. I'm going to do this too.
Yeah, do 1 ear. Frosted window panes, candles gleaming inside, painted candy canes on the tree. Santa's on his way, he's filled his sleigh with things for you and for me. It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, Merry Christmas, may your New Year's dreams come true. And this song of mine in 3/4 time wishes you and yours the same thing too. It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, Merry Christmas, may your New Year's dreams come true. And this song of mine in 3/4 time wishes you and yours the same things
The great Libby Lloyd. And
And the
her
great
father, Blaine Fowler, on the guitar.
Yes, a glimpse into my childhood right here. Seriously, it's the best.
Look,
It's a glimpse into our whole neighborhood's
That's
childhood.
fantastic. That's just awesome.
So-
All right, before we hit you up with 5 questions, what are you up to now? What's next?
Oh, just, back on that audition grind. I have a few things that are close.
Yeah.
So follow me on Instagram or TikTok.
What's
And
your
you might-
Instagram handle so people can follow you?
I believe my Instagram handle is libby.lloyd. And then my TikTok handle is libby2_Lloyd.
2 underscores.
yeah.
Libby's
a few
way better than
things.
me with social media. Like
Yes,
there's
she
some
is.
really, if you
Yes,
go
are.
follow her, she has some cool stuff where, like Moulin Rouge. Like she takes you behind the scenes and does. She's been videoing some stuff today as we've been getting ready to come on here, and
Some
so
BTS.
she always gives you some behind the scenes stuff.
Awesome.
But
So
yeah, I have a few things that are close and in the works. So follow me, and maybe, hopefully, in the next week, I'll have a solid answer on what I'm doing
Okay.
next.
All right. Well, next week on the Wise Guys, we'll follow up on
yeah,
that.
we'll follow up.
That sounds great. I know that when you were 7, you went to The Lion King on Broadway, told your folks afterwards, I believe the quote was, "I'm going to be on Broadway when I grow up." Well, you've grown up.
I've grown up,
And you're on Broadway.
and I'm on Broadway.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Following a dream it's what keeps life worth living, isn't it?
Yeah, it's special. It's really, really special. And there were a lot of people when I was in junior high and high school that were like, "That's not a real job." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. It's not a real job." And then my parents and some other people were like, "It can be. If you really go for it, it can be." And I feel so thankful that it is my job. I get to live my dream.
I think that's awesome.
We get to do this for work, and people, Dave and I recognize that the other night when we're just sitting courtside calling the BYU Morgan State basketball game and having fun, and we're getting paid to do it.
Exactly. You
That
guys
we
get
have
it.
that we have a job that we love and it's a great job. You get to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And really, people should chase a dream and try to do something for their living if they can.
Yeah, there's so many different dreams. Your dream doesn't have to be Broadway. And you can push for that and achieve that. Like maybe it's to be an accountant, and that's amazing. And you should be a great accountant. That's an amazing dream to chase.
You know, one thing I've noticed, like with Keith Urban and Garth Brooks and great Libby Lloyd and others, is the harder you practice, the easier it looks. You don't get to just skip it and stand up and knock it out of the ballpark. You get to knock it out of the ballpark and make it look easy because of all the work you did. And in today's society, they want to skip the work and just go to this.
Yeah.
I want to be at Yankee Stadium and hit a home run. That guy hits one, he makes $500 million. Yeah. Well, he didn't just show up today.
Right.
And he makes it look easy because of all the time in the batting cage or dance class or singing class or anything else. And I think that's one of the great compliments is it looks easy when you're on stage. I've seen you on stage. It looks easy because you make it look easy because you did all the work.
Right.
And it's the only way to make it look easy, which is ironic.
Yeah, work really hard so that it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we notice that too in our games. If we prepare all week long for our game, people go, "Man, it just looks like you and Blaine just sit there and have a good time and blah, blah, blah." Thank you. That means we've done our job.
Yeah.
But our job required the whole week. And like a player too, like Dallas is shaking his head because, and so then when you do what you do, it's more of a compliment. So we just think it's fantastic.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
All right, now you're ready for 5 questions.
Yeah.
5 questions. Okay.
Okay, Libby, what's your favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans. Easy.
That's
My brother.
All her brother. That's
My
brother
brother
Gavin.
Gavin would watch it every Friday night. Oh, wait, no. Friday night is when you play football in high school. So every Thursday night,
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Gavin would watch Remember the Titans, and I would watch it with him.
And what will Gavin be doing this Saturday, Libs?
Coaching. He's coaching.
He'll be in
BYU.
Stillwater, coaching the secondary.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm really interested in question 2.
Okay, your favorite singer or band?
Oh my goodness. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. So my favorite at the moment is Yeba. I'm sure you've never heard of
Never
her.
have.
Who's Yeba?
Yeba is an artist. She's incredible. She has a very bluesy, jazzy sound. She was, I'm going to get these stats wrong, but she was discovered by Sam Smith.
Okay.
The singer
yeah,
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith's amazing.
At least I think. Don't quote me on that. And now she's taken off. She is incredible. Her riffs, like her runs and stuff, and her voice are unlike anything I can ever imagine doing. So.
And where would one find Yeba?
On all the music platforms,
Okay.
Apple Music, Spotify.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
Yeba, and then I'm basic. I love Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Oh, yeah. She's crazy talented.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, your favorite breakfast cereal?
Okay, I don't think I've had breakfast cereal in 8 years.
Dallas, is that true?
Probably.
Yeah, he loves breakfast cereal. I'm not a huge breakfast cereal gal.
But if you had to pick
if I
one.
had
But if you
to
were.
pick, I would probably throw it back to childhood and have a bowl of Frosted Flakes, which then I grab the sugar jar because there's not enough sugar. Mom, do you remember this?
Oh, my goodness.
And get us some sugar and sprinkle it on top.
You added more frost.
By the way,
To
Frosted
Frosted
Flakes
Flakes.
are surrounded by sugar, and then she put sugar
But I'll be
on.
honest, there could be a little more in there.
There could be more.
There could
Do you know
be
what
a
that is?
little
That's
more.
the anti-Danny Ainge right there.
That's fantastic.
That's anti-Danny Ainge.
So that I just
Frosted
learned
Flakes.
the road to Broadway starts with frosted flakes.
Frosted
Extra
Flakes.
frosted.
Okay.
What's your favorite song to sing?
Oh, my favorite song to sing. That's a hard one too.
There are no easy questions on
Yeah,
Wise
no
Guys.
easy questions. I mean, probably Shanghai Breezes is up there. Or
Really?
what's the other song we sing? I don't know the actual title of it. Down in Jamaica. What is that?
Oh, that's On and On by...
On and On.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, are we gonna bust it out?
No, we're not going to bust it out, but... Oh, yeah, it's capoed. This one is another favorite.
Who sings that?
This song's with my dad.
Down in
Are we singing
Jamaica,
it?
they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they'll break your heart.
Stephen Bishop.
Lonesome Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Takes him from the fire into the frying pan. On and on, she just keeps on trying. And he laughs when he feels like crying. On and on, on and on, on and on.
Should we take requests? Should we take requests on the live stream? We stay here all
Maybe
night.
next week.
You got another song? Let us know what you want to hear.
That's one of our favorites
That's
because
a
we
good
played that as these guys were growing up. Who sings that?
Stephen Bishop. Yeah.
Stephen Bishop.
That's just a good old song, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you my favorite. Maybe my favorite song I've ever heard Libby sing is. She sang the prayer with Dallin Val Bales, who many here would know.
Yeah.
Another
Played
BYU
Phantom
alum.
and Phantom about the Opera on Broadway, BYU alum. They sang it together at the Christmas concert in Carnegie Hall with a full orchestra behind them. And they were sandwiched in between Kobe Calais and Tori Kelly on the thing that night. And we went with Steve and Barb Young. And Steve bought us the box right in the middle. Of course he did, right?
did.
And we got to watch Libby perform the prayer. One of my favorite performances of hers of all time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool.
It's on my Instagram if you want to watch
Yep.
it.
So
Yeah, that's a good one. My audition song go to. This is kind of insider information.
Okay.
oh,
Is "We Found Love" by Rihanna. So
Oh.
pop song.
We Found Love by
"We
Rihanna.
Found Love" by Rihanna. That's a good
So
one.
when you sing it, do they have the music?
They have
do you have to
an
sing a
accompanist.
cappella?
They have a pianist.
Okay.
So it's not like to the actual music, but it's to the piano. They're like do 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 do, and it's really fun. It's a
Cool.
fun one.
Awesome.
So, okay, last question. Your favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Favorite Thanksgiving memory? Well, the first one that just popped into my head is when I'm the youngest of my family of 5 kids. And all my older siblings had been married and moved to other states. So I was left alone with my mom and dad, and my older brother Gavin was on a mission. So we went to the Grand America.
Yes, that
Buffet.
was awesome. No
Me
dishes.
and my mom and dad.
No dishes.
And it was amazing.
I forgot about that. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was
Thanksgiving
really
at
fun.
the Grand American.
And then
the
we
Grand
went to
American.
All right.
we went to a movie in Salt
And
Lake
we
City.
went to a movie. That's the one that's coming to mind right now.
That's funny.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now your siblings that are all listening to this are going, well, I never got a chance to just go with
I mean,
my
when you're the
parents to-"
youngest, you get some
There's a lot of
benefits.
perks.
Oh, another Thanksgiving memory that I love. Me and my husband, because we live in New York City and live on the Upper West Side, we watch the parade in person.
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
And always watching the parade. Growing up, we would turn it on every morning. So getting to see it in person.
Woody the Woodpecker comes down
Yes.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
and I'm always like,
That's cool.
guys, Dad's from New York. Like, they know that's my homeland. So
Yeah.
now Libby lives in my homeland. So
Really fun.
Okay, so let's make this an annual event next year.
Yes,
We'll have
so
you
fun.
back and we'll sing something from whatever your latest project is. How
Great.
about that?
Yep.
Can't wait.
That'll be
That'd be
great.
great.
I have in mind what we might be able to do if you get the project I think you're going to get. But we'll not announce it until next week.
The great Libby Lloyd and Dallas and Brenda and Blaine, all musicians in their own way. Some on the field. Thank you for
Hey,
being here.
Yes,
Dallas is an
thank you.
accomplished
That's so
pianist.
good.
Dallas
Yeah,
plays
Dallas
the
plays
piano
piano.
and sings. Yeah, he's
Maybe we'll get a piano in here next
Yeah,
time.
we'll
You
do
can
it.
be multifaceted.
And
you
we're-
can
and-
play sports and do music.
we
That's
just
right.
hope we don't have this isn't a recording place, so it's just like we hope that everybody out there could hear a little bit
Sounded
of it.
great.
Thank
Sounded
you.
great. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
So